to love that. Hey, after Shedeur Sanders started the Browns' first preseason game, it was fellow rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel who got the start on Saturday. Went 13 of 18, 143 yards against the Eagles. He did throw a pick six. Gabriel, one of 5 quarterbacks currently in the running to start week 1 for the Browns. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is the one who has to make that call on QB1.
Obviously, we will name a starter. It's going to come this week. We still anticipate all of our players, whether you're a starter or not, to prepare like you're the starter. And knowing all of our players in that room, that's exactly what they'll do.
I mean, his mustache is fine. Reigning champion Eagles adding some depth at receiver, acquiring John Mechie III from the Texans. Mechie had 24 grabs with Houston last season. He was a teammate of fellow Eagles wideout Devontae Smith on Alabama's 2020 national title team. Eagles are sending tight end Harrison Bryant and a 5th-round pick back to Houston. So after the trade, what does the Eagles wide receiver room look like? Thank you for asking. It's A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They have the 1 and 2 spots locked up. However, it does remain to be seen who's going to come out as a true wide receiver 3 between Mechie now and some notable quarterback performances in Sunday's preseason action. Trevor Lawrence's first quarter, he played the first quarter of the Jaguars' 17-17 tie with the Saints. He was 8 of 10 through the air, 76 yards and a touchdown. Also lost a fumble in his 2 drives of work. Other side of the field, Tyler Shuck started the game for New Orleans. 9 of 12, 66 passing yards. Spencer Rattler took over the second half, went 18-24, 199 yards, did have a touchdown, did have a pick, ran in the game-tying 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter of that tie. And in last night's win over the Bills, Bears quarterback Caleb Williams played the first 2 series of that game, completing the first 2. And we start with tonight's game. Big questions really on both sidelines here, Adam. Trey Hendrickson holding in with the Bengals. What's the latest now that we're about halfway through the preseason?
Randy, they have not made any progress, despite the fact that Trey Hendrickson reported back to camp after holding out and turning it into a hold-in. They have not bridged any of their differences. And we heard Trey Hendrickson ask back during the spring for a trade. It's always been out there as a possibility. The problem is we're in mid to late August. Teams have less cap space. There would have to be a team that's willing to compensate the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson, and it's a difficult deal to arrange. And right now, we know that Trey Hendrickson has said that he will not play under his existing contract, scheduled to pay him $16 million this year. The Bengals owner, Mike Brown, has said the same thing. He expects that to be the case. So Trey Hendrickson is going to have some decisions to make here in the coming weeks before the Bengals get ready to open their season.
Think of the Commanders and the Bengals, and you think of that touchdown that Terry McLaurin had in the regular season game last season, and now here he is holding in with the Commanders. Where do things stand there?
Well, they activated him off the physically unable to perform list on Saturday. That means they're preparing to ramp him back up to activity, but the issue is they haven't made any meaningful progress on a new contract yet. And so the Commanders are going to try to get him ready, but the contract is the holdup right now. And just like we talked about with Trey Hendrickson, it's difficult to work out a trade because you got to find a team that's willing to compensate the Commanders with compensation and the player with a new contract. There isn't a team readily out there willing to meet both requirements. And so Terry McLaurin right now is stuck in Washington the way Trey Hendrickson is stuck in Cincinnati, and there's no progress right now on either front.
All right, one of the larger concerns stemming in Los Angeles. What can you tell us about Matthew Stafford's availability with the Rams?
Randy, he was supposed to work out Saturday, and all the Rams would say after the fact was Sean McVay will address it Monday, which certainly sounds like it means he didn't work out on Saturday and that Sean McVay will have some answers later on today. Now, here is the actual word on Matthew Stafford's back. His doctors and trainers continue not to be concerned about his availability for the Rams' regular season opener against the Houston Texans. But if you work with the Rams, you're around Matthew Stafford, and he still hasn't practiced yet, it's hard not to be concerned at this point in time. The fact that it seems like he hasn't practiced, he hasn't been out there, the back is an issue, he's 37 years old, lots of question marks, but the doctors don't seem to be concerned.
I remember Mark Schlereth on these airwaves a few years ago said, I don't know anybody who used to have a bad back. Just something to Just something to keep in mind. Jimmy Garoppolo currently the backup. That's Adam Schefter. Appreciate it.
Anytime you're a young player, there's usually a couple steps forward and one step back, and that's really been the story of his training camp. And he and I have been really open and honest about that as we've gone through. And he's had some really good practices, and he's had a couple where it's like, that's not good enough, bud. So I thought really the 3 days of practice we had this week and this game were the most he's stacked up good days in a row right now. So the challenge is going to be to keep pushing in that direction.
NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum joining us for more Mondays with Mike. We love that. We just heard from Ben Johnson on Caleb Williams. How about you, Mike T? What were your first impressions of Caleb in this new look Bears offense?
My first impressions are you should be flagged for too many hairs on your face, Randy. But I digress. Let's get going here. Look.
Okay.
Yeah, look, Caleb Williams played really well, unlike your shaving proclivities. I thought he was poised, he was accurate, he played fast, and I thought he was able to establish something early. First play here, gets out of the pocket and got himself going. He got to the tight ends 3 different times, which is a Ben Johnson staple. And when you can throw a seam shot like this, it's going to be a lot harder for the defense because now they got to cover the whole field. I thought the anticipation was good. And again, when you can get the ball to your tight ends and then DJ Moore right here, outstanding performance by Caleb Williams in the Bears offense.
All right, Mike Tannenbaum is back. Let's run around some more quarterbacks from the weekend in our Mike check, beginning with Jaxson Dart there in New York.
Randy, Jaxson Dart won the weekend. To me, he is a day one starter. He was accurate, he was poised, he was confident. I love the way he played. Look at his accuracy. This is a small window in the NFL, and you have to know where the ball is going quickly. That's your first read. Then the dump down here to Theo Johnson. If I'm Brian Daboll, he has earned the job. I'd put him in and just live with the growing pains. All right, next up is Dylan Gabriel, Randy. I thought Dylan Gabriel actually exceeded expectations. I'm very concerned about his size in the regular season, but give him credit. He threw the ball accurately, really good placement with the ball. He also knew where to go with it. The only concern, as this graphic is showing, he did have the 2 turnovers, including a pick 6. But from a Brown standpoint, the overall body of work was excellent, and I think he's earned a spot on the roster. Okay, last up is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, as we know, is competing with Anthony Richardson to start for the Colts. I thought he played pretty good. The ball placement here was excellent to Michael Pittman. What we are concerned about with him is he's had 73 turnovers and 208 sacks in his career. He was much better on that. And when we listen to Shane Steichen, he's close to announcing a starter. My gut is it'll be Daniel Jones because he avoided the negative plays.
All right, we're going to see. I mean, the decision is between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson Sr. there. My situation here with my face, I feel like also is a week 1 question mark. We're going to see if it makes it that far, Mike T. It might be gone by the end of the week if you continue bullying. Mike Tannenbaum.